This is, if you're joining us for the first time, when you can just ask any skincare question. I am going to talk about routines. I'll talk about treatments that you can do, tweakments you can do. Everything is up for grabs. I've also got products down here, all through, but Trinny London, but other ones too, like sensitive skin, if you want to talk about that, and various, whether we talk about pigment or whatever. And we did a shout out. So good morning, everybody. How are we? How are we? Good to be back in the studio, and good to be back for a chat, and good to be back for just a skincare. Thank you very much. Getting a little thing if I do some cleansing routines for you, a skincare chat. So Faith's in the room with us, and we got some questions, but just start your questions now of things you'd like to know or things you're thinking about to do with your skin. It could be that you've never had a proper routine. You'll think, what would that look like? It could be you've got specific issues. It could be that you want to go and do a facelift or Botox or tweakments or whatever, and you just want to know my opinion on them. We're talking everything. So, Faith, let's start with a couple of things that already people have asked.
Okay, a lot of people asking about menopausal skin, perimenopausal skin, and what changes they need to make.
That's a good idea. So we can start with that. I think we've spoken a little bit before about what happens to our skin down this path of life. But if we just imagine we're born with this baby skin and it's sort of plump, there's a ton of collagen and elastane in our skin. And then as we go down this path, things change in our skin. So when we're in our teens, we start to have our period if we're female, and we get we can get excess oil sebum buildup, and we can get a little bit of spots and acne, and that can keep going on until our hormones balance out. And then in our 20s, I think the biggest thing is that if we, are not taking care of our skin in front of the sun, then we could, have been going a little bit with a low SPF or no SPF at all. And even though you won't see it in your 20s, by the time you get to your 40s and 50s, the effects of that sun damage will begin to appear. And they'll begin to appear in the form of melanocytes, of pigment that has changed, and it's been damaged by free radicals, by the sun, and they sort of hover under your skin, and then in your 40s and 50s, they pop up as age spots. We can also get age spots through our life, but they can be prevalent at a perimenopausal and a menopausal stage. They suddenly come up in a flurry, and you think, oh my God. And there are different ways to treat them. So every year we lose 1% of that collagen that we had as babies and teens fully, and you might have teenage children and they have that plump, fresh skin. And in your 20s, you still feel that. But, as we get to our late 20s, early 30s, we might see the first few fine lines, and we just are beginning to lose that plumpness that collagen gives us. So in our 40s, 50s, when we get to menopause, it turns to 2% a year of the collagen that we lose. So then by the time you get to sort of 50, you might have lost 30% of the collagen in your skin. So you need to think, what can I do? To me, that's the biggest effect for people. They feel, maybe some people describe it to me as, I feel my face has crumpled. It's one way of putting it. So how can you keep that blooming freshness and that sort of chubbiness, for want of a better word, to your skin, where you feel there's a thickness to it? It hasn't become thin and crepey. And that really means a mixture of retinoids, vitamin C's and peptides, and they will all do different things to help to give that skin that life and luminosity and vibrancy that you miss when you get to menopause. We can talk about, throw on moisturizer and a ton of ceramides, but I think you should be doing a lot more than that. And I think that many women just crave a good moisturizer, and many women will say to me in their 50s, can you just tell me the name of a good moisturizer? And I will come back and say, well, let's just feel your skin. So what I like you all to do now, actually, is feel your skin with your eyes closed. And this is something I do with a lot of people. But it will get you in touch. As soon as we remove one of our senses, we put more focus and on the other senses. So if you do things with your eyes open, you won't feel as much. So close your eyes now, if you're listening to me in a place where you can close your eyes and start feeling up your face, all right? And just begin to feel the texture of your skin. So what I want you to do, because we can be given labels on our skin, and you can be told age 20 in front of the clinic counter, you have combination skin, and you get to 50 and you feel, somebody says, what's your skin type? And you go combination. It's like, things change and evolve, and we need to really understand what our skin is first, and therefore we'll know what ingredients to put on it. So close your eyes and just feel, start with your forehead and just feel the smoothness levels between the actual forehead center, and then as you go out up into the hairline, and just feel, is that texture consistent across your skin? Or are you beginning to feel that maybe in the center there's flakiness, and here it's a bit oily and then it gets flaky and dry again? Do you feel that I get this with a lot of women where they'll feel really just not dry or oily here, just balance, and then you get out here and there's a real sort of, like you feel bumps under the skin, you feel a bit of dryness, and that's a lot of the time because women, when they wash their face, don't want to get their hair wet, and they just keep ignoring this area up here for years and years and years, and you just get this sort of build up. And it is important to really clean your skin around here, and when you get that kind of build up, you want to begin to maybe look at an acid. So then we're going to get round here and we're going to feel around our nose and just feel how smooth that is as well, and then just feel that how oily it feels or how dry it feels. So I have put some product, tiny bit of product on this morning, so I'm feeling perhaps, well, I don't know, I think this is my skin. I do feel it's a bit oily here around there. And then as I get here, you know, how's that texture here? For lots of women, they could have lots of things going on their cheeks. If you have a bit of rosacea, when you close your eyes, you'll feel that skin feels a bit rough. And you can even feel that there's a few bumps in it, which can be down to rosacea. You can also have little spots that never come up, all right? And those could also be hovering there, and you just feel a bumpiness to your skin. If you open your eyes, then see, are those little white underlying marks there, or is that just a little rough skin? And then here, when you go down, you know, I feel there's no congestion on my chin, but I do feel the separation of my skin. There's a slightly different texture to my skin, especially around here where I had lots of acne, than up here where it feels smoother and more porous. So having that sense, then you can go around here, and you know, I talk a lot about doing lymphatic drainage, but you can really just feel how around your ears, behind and in front of your ears, how blocked does that feel? Now that might feel different for everybody, but you know, when I do drainage, lymphatic drainage, to really kind of shape our face and give it a really good movement of all the lymphs to be able to release all the toxins in our skin, I can kind of feel, does that feel blocked or not? And when I come up to women and I close my eyes, I can feel if there's a bit of a puffiness there, and then it means that would be really good for you to do a lymphatic drainage. So sort of what I call this face mapping is very much just face feeling. And then you can from that really work out what you should be doing. So going back to that very original question of the menopausal skin, if you're feeling there's dryness here, there's a bit of dryness here, you should, maybe the first step is get off the dryness, not with more moisturization, but with an acid. And depending on the sensitivity of your skin, I would say one of the most important things is to begin to understand what acids can do for your skin. If you have never used them, and if you've used them, think of which one you're using, because it could be you used a BHA for a few years because your skin was oilier, but as we hit menopause, it might get drier, and you might want to go to an AHA or a PHA, different types of acids. So, you know, I'm going to start on the routine and say the first thing, so for me, I'd say tiptoe in as a PHA. There's many different companies that do acids. Some people do a combination of acids. I just wanted to separate them out. So one first step I'll put in my routine, because I cleaned my skin this morning, is I'll put this on. And what this will do, an acid, especially if you have this dryness here, is really focus on putting the acid around that area where you feel that congestion and you feel perhaps that dry, dead skin on top of your skin. So I'd say that's a very important step, like that, there. And then you're going to look at what texture your skin is. So how even is your skin tone? Do you feel that there's a pinkness to your skin? Do you feel that you've got age spots, pigmentation spots or melasma? These all boil down to having an uneven skin tone, which could have very small darker spots on your skin, or it could be a sort of equal on either sides of your face, which is more likely to be melasma, and slightly closer together, and it feels like it's one sort of bit that nearly will give you a sort of contour shape to your face if you just look at it. So if you have certain age spots, a vitamin C to me is a really important thing to do, and I do think it can be very, very helpful. So consider have you got a vitamin C in your routine and what type of vitamin C? There are many different types of vitamin C. We have vitamin C at Trinny London, but it's really, really strong. It's 30%. So I would say if anyone has sensitivity, it's not one for them, but there are brands that do it. The Ordinary I would say actually Victoria Health do Deep Sea, which is a very soft vitamin C. It's 23%. It has ferulic acid in it as well. So you could just start on that gentle journey. There are treatments you can do as well for your skin in clinic, which will help with melasma, more that real, big focus of pigmentation. But let's get down to building up the structure of our skin, because menopause brings that necessity to build up structure. And then I'm going to say peptides. Many people do peptides. I'm just going to talk about the importance of peptides in general, because peptides are like the food that will feed the proteins that are amino acids that support the development of collagen and elastane. So it's like plant food. So I will always start after I've done exfoliation. I will start with a little bit of plump up. You can do peptide creams as well, but I think if you want this as a vested, intense treatment to really help that kind of plumpness of your skin, then get it in a serum, because the molecule size is smaller and it will actually penetrate deeper. I also do this as a treatment once a week, where I will microneedle my skin and then put this in afterwards. But actually applying peptides onto your skin and go all the way down to your décolleté. I'm not doing it today because I got a nice top on, but you know the drill. This will help for you to feel that skin, hasn't crumpled in so much. And I think they're very important. So peptides are that third ingredient. The fourth ingredient obviously is a retinoid. And a retinoid is something you put on at night. I'm going back to basics here. And the importance of a retinoid is you've got all these different ingredients doing different things for your skin. But a retinoid will increase the speed of your skin cell turnover. So what it will do is it will bring newer skin to the surface a bit quicker. And that acceleration of the skin cell turnover will mean that that sort of older dead skin, which is on one end on your epidermis being sloshed off by acids, but also when it pushes through, it feels a bit springier. And then it's being fed by the peptides, so it feels more joyous. And then the vitamin C is trying to get rid of some of the unevenness. So that is a cocktail for me that's phenomenal for a skin, any age, in different degrees of strengths, but especially perimenopausal, 40-year-old skin onwards. I think it's just the most important ingredients that you can use on your skin. Okay, we're going to go to some questions now. Faith is here. And start away, yeah.
Okay, the routine you're doing now for menopausal skin, would you change anything for someone struggling with sensitivity?
I would probably not do the vitamin C, which I'm going to do now. And I would be careful about doing an acid. So depending on the level of sensitivity of your skin, I would suggest that you do a PHA only, and you do it once, gently start and build it up to nightly and morning. You can actually use PHA morning and evening. And then I would do plump up, and then I would do a moisturizer. I think sensitive skin can use retinoids, especially ours is not one that is going to aggravate your skin hugely, because it converts once inside the skin, it doesn't convert on the surface of the skin. But I think with a retinoid, only you can judge the level of sensitivity of your skin. If it's really hypersensitive, then I would stick literally with a balm cleanser, peptide, which is for sensitive skin a fantastic treatment for the skin, because you're actually going to get more than a lot of people might just say, just wash and moisturize your face. And moisturizer, bounce back. That's what I would do. I'm now putting on the vitamin C, and I'm actually putting it on areas only that I feel I need it. I'm not putting it on the center of my face. It's very strong, it's 30%. So I really focus here, and sometimes I will once a week do a treatment where I'll microneedle and then I'll put the vitamin C on. But that is only if you have zero sensitivity of your skin, and to do it just on a small targeted area so that the products can penetrate even further. But I do believe in vitamin C. I've used it for years. I had many years ago a treatment as well that I did like for pigmentation, which was Obadi's treatment. I don't know how many of you had it, but I had done a CO2 laser for acne when I was 30, because I had very bad acne scarring. But CO2 lasers can heighten your ability to get pigmentation. and I did have more pigmentation as a result. So then I did for a month Obagi vitamin C with hydroquinone, quite strong products to really work on my pigment. And then from that moment on, I've always used an SPF 50 in strong sun, always, and a 30 every single day. And I think that if you make a decision to deal with your pigment in some kind of treatment, in clinic treatment, you have to commit afterwards to knowing that that will have got rid of stuff, but you might have a heightened problem with pigmentation if you don't put SPF on. I'm just going to say that because I did have that, and I know some people experience that. And the more olive your skin is, the more, if you do something like a CO2 laser, you might want to think about that. Yeah, next question.
We've got a few people asking for advice for adult acne and congested skin.
Adult acne is a killer. I mean, especially for those of you who maybe had never had spots. I've had spots, so the memory of my spots comes hauntingly back to me when I have one spot. But I used to have hundreds of spots on my face. And when you go through life and you don't have a bad skin, and then you get acne, adult acne, it's incredibly frustrating. And I think there's a sort of triangular approach to treating adult acne. One is what you're putting inside your body in terms of supplements and food. The other is what medication and pills you can take. And the third is what topical applications that you can apply. So starting with the first one, I do believe that there are triggers that increase the level of inflammation in your skin. And when you have a propensity to acne as an adult, you want to not eat things that will increase inflammation in your skin. So sugar increases inflammation in your skin. Tomatoes increase inflammation in your skin. There's various foods that are quite inflammatory. And you want to kind of counteract it with anti-inflammatory foods. So like spinach is not an inflammatory food. I might try and find a list for you, but food is really important. And when I had acne, I went to see a doctor years ago who never looked at the association with food and just gave me, tetracycline and then minosin, and then I finally went on Aractane. And I dealt with it entirely with pills. But I do think that you can look at your food, and you can also look at supplements that are not strong pills if you don't want to go down that route. So you can do Clear Skin from Viridian. It's got burdock root and zinc in it. So one deals with inflammation, one deals with a bacterial infection. You can also do topical prescription retinoid, and that you will get from your doctor, and that could be tretinoin or differin, depending on how oily your skin is. If you have adult spots, that's very different from adult acne. So if you just get a few spots adult-wise, then you don't need to do a prescription tretinoin. That's like crossing the line. And a lot of people do a prescription for anti-aging, but I think also the downtime of tretinoin isn't great, and you kind of have this redness and you use it for 3 weeks and I think, oh my God, my skin is so red, I don't want to use it anymore, which is why I did develop 2 retinoids that are not going to give you that downtime, but will be really effective. So if you have a propensity to have spots occasionally, Overnight Clarity has retinoids in it that convert once inside the skin, but also niacinamide. Niacinamide is a really important ingredient when you have some spots, because niacinamide kind of reduces pore size, reduces inflammation, and it just helps skin. BHAs, beta hydroxy acids, are a kind of acid where it's an oil that attracts oil. So other acids are water-based, but there's an oilness to BHAs, which will kind of suck out that excess sebum that you're producing as an adult acne sufferer. So I hope that helps you understand it. So for me, if you have spots as opposed to full-on acne, a treatment I would say is to do a gel cleanser in the morning, to do Find Your Balance as your acid in the evening, to do Overnight Clarity in the evening, and then in the morning you could moisturize with a niacinamide moisturizer. So those things together really work. Hi, Grant, how are you, darling? Nice to see you. I love that purple suit. It was so fabulous in Australia. You are late to the party because I don't know what time it is in Australia. Nicole, I'm in my 40s and I want to look after my skin, but I'm time poor and tired at night with 2 young kids. What are the 3 non-negotiable things I should do? That's a really good question, Nicole. Sorry, I'm really trying to drink more water today. Wear SPF, drink water, and use a retinoid, I'd kind of say. Just begin to use a serious grown-up serum in your routine. So things I'm going to presume you do already, because they don't take any time in the world, is you totally clean your skin at night. But just introduce a serious grown-up serum. So retinoid is a great one in your 40s to think about if you really have nothing else at the moment. So I'd say that, yes. Okay, Jodie, hi love. Can I also ask which microneedling device and facial tone devices you use, please? I was unwell when you were here in Sydney, so gutted I missed you. I use a mixture. I do like New Face as an introductory one because Facetune Pro is very expensive, which is the long red one I use. It's a microcurrent and they kind of help to support your skin and lift it up. But New Face is the white one with the 2 silver ends, and you can get a travel size. And I think the travel size and the big one have no difference in terms of how much they lift your skin, but the big one has the ability to have an eye attachment, which I don't use anyway. So I have the travel one and it's under £200. So I think for that, you get that sense of treating your skin. So with microneedles at the moment, I'm testing a few different ones, but I have been using Olivia Wilson quite a lot. And I do like her microneedles and I think she looks after them well. In the past, I've used Swiss Clinic and I've used Teresa Tame, who does a kit. Would I ever think about nail polishes, Joe? I just don't know. I only use one colour. And I just, it's not something that I'm really, love in terms that everything that I make, I really have a passion for. So I think as a founder, you have to go with a passion. Once you just start doing anything, it's kind of, I need to feel when I talk about it, it's something that I thoroughly believe in. And I'd love, when I see people with beautifully polished nails and nail polish, I go, God, how amazing. I've always felt I have footballer's hands and I'm looking at my nails now thinking, my God, they need a manicure. But at the moment, not, no. Jeannie, do we need to follow a balm cleanse for makeup with Better Off? Jeannie, it's a personal choice. In the morning, I use, in the winter, I use Be Your Best. I use a balm cleanser because I want that ritual. And in the summer, I use Better Off because I'm in a rush, I'm in the shower, I'm having a cold shower every morning. In the evening, I use both. Now, for me, the most important thing is you clean your skin, you clean it again. I don't think you need to buy 2 products to do that. The ultimate cleansing experience for me is to do a balm and then a gel. Nearly whatever your skin type is, because the balm takes off all your makeup, but it gives you the opportunity to really massage your skin. And the gel gives you that utter clean piece of glass skin so that whatever ingredients you're going to put onto it afterwards really absorb and go in. So it's a personal choice. If you have a very dry skin and all your stuff is about nurturing, you could use a balm twice to clean your skin. You need to make sure though that you let when we use the balm, we do the balm, then we add water and it goes white, and then use a muslin cloth. And these are all important elements. And if you do the balm twice, make sure on that second one, you're really exfoliating your skin with a muslin cloth. So by the time it's all off, there's no residue and you feel that real cleanness to your skin. That's the most important thing. With that first cleanse, take off your makeup and SPF. And if you don't wear makeup, SPF needs to come off. And then that second cleanse is about prepping your skin for all those skincare ingredients that you're going to invest in to move your skin on. Yes, Louise, the vitamin C is not good for sensitive skin, and we have that on the website. I think it's just, people want to use a vitamin C, and I would suggest that if you have sensitive skin, use something like the one I mentioned from Victoria Health, the Deep Sea. My daughter's done a Abaji, that is the right way of spelling it, and her skin looks amazing. It's very good, that Abaji month-long treatment, but you do need to use an SPF afterwards. Judith, I've got broken thread veins which have just come. I'm 55. Is there anything I can do? There are things you can in treatment have them injected with the sort of saline solution, and you know, they can go, they can come back though. And broken thread veins are a little bit, they can be from the texture of your skin, your blood, they can be from, you might be an outweather girl, you know, outdoors girl, and you just have a lot of outdoor damage on your skin, and then ultimately also you can get broken veins from that. But you can get this treatment where they inject something to kind of take the blood out of it so that then you don't see it anymore, but it doesn't always last forever. That's the only thing. I've never had it done, but I've had people who have had it done. Jane, can I share how wonderful your team have been over the last month or so? That's so sweet. Love the TL products so much it gave me confidence. A few bumps left and hardly any rosacea. Trinny London helped this from the first week this year in April. So brilliant. And the new HRT is kicking in. You've been on a mission. I love that. Thank you very much.
Trinny, I've got a few questions about retinol. So maybe could we do like a back to basics? What are they? Who needs them?
Yeah, we can. So I think that retinoids are going to accelerate the skin cell turnover, like I said, and they're going to help with the texture of your skin. And also they can, to an extent, help with pigmentation. And that combination of vitamin C and retinoid is really good for pigmentation. So there's many different retinoids, all right? There's retinol, which is a strong retinoid, and it will convert on your skin, and then it will go in and convert inside. And many brands do it up to sort of 0.3%. When you look at percentages, it can be confusing because some people could have diluted their retinoid in something and then used that as a percentage and then given something and said like 3% retinoid. When you think, how come? No actual ingredient that you get that's in a retinoid over-the-counter, non-prescription product is going to really be above 0.3%. And if something like The Ordinary says 2%, retinoid, it's been sort of diluted in something, and then it says it if you look in the small words. So it can be confusing, but there's different types. So there's retinol palmitate, which I think is just shit. And if you have a retinol which has that in it, I don't think it's going to do much for your skin. And then the other end, you have differin and tretinoin, which are prescription retinoids. They're already retinoic acid, whereas all the other ones you buy from companies, they turn into retinoic acid. So we use retinal at Trinny London, and we use gram-active retinoids. So in Overnight Clarity, we just have retinal and niacinamide. And retinal is, to me, the next generation of a retinoid. It works 11 times faster than other retinols. And it doesn't have so much downtime, but it's very effective. So I love it. And we do that with niacinamide in Overnight Clarity. In Overnight Sensation, we have two different types of retinoids. We have retinal and we have gram-active retinoid. And that combination deals with different elements of skin aging, and it's a really nice combination to have together. So, what you need to make sure is if you've got a retinoid product at home, look at the back of it, look at the packaging, go onto the website, see what kind of retinol it is, and see how high up the INCI list it comes, because if it's below fragrance, then it means it will be below 1%, but some retinoids should be below 1% because that would be a kind of prescription level. So you just need to kind of have a sense of it. If it's bright yellow, it could be that then it is very strong. Some people dye their products bright yellow to give you a sense that it's more like the original Retin-A, which is what we call tretinoin today. I've used retinoids 35 years, but my original one was very bright yellow Retin-A, and it was a 0.5 and then it was a 1%. So it can be complicated. If you want to see which one you suit, you can go onto Trinny London and do Match to Me and see which one you get in your Match to Me of skincare, and it will really help you. Scott, do you recommend a physical exfoliation product, or is it just beneficial using acid alone? I think there's room for both, Scott, because I think that, for many years, I used just a physical exfoliate. And then about 15 years ago, I started using acids. But what I enjoyed about a physical exfoliant for somebody who had acne and scarring from acne is I felt I was like just physically kind of working on the exterior of the skin to kind of really soften the inconsistency in my skin, on the epidermal level. Now, if you really exfoliate and the exfoliating granules aren't right, it's not great for your skin. And we used to have those microbeads, which now have been banned because they're really bad for the sea and very bad for fish and any creature living in the sea. You can have apricot kernel, which has been squished down. I used one from Jason, and it was a vitamin C one, but it was actually apricot kernel, and it was very abrasive. I've used from Takova, there's a kind of one that's turns a bit blue. So I think once or twice a week, I do like that granular exfoliation. It's not putting ingredients inside your skin like an acid, and it's working on a surface level and not on a deeper level. And with something like an AHA acid, which is a very small molecule size, it goes quite deep. So it's going to resurface your skin on a deeper level than that just top line epidermal level. So that's why I think the combination is really good, Scott. The balm cleanser is called Be Your Best. And how it works is you put it on your skin, and I've got a new one here actually, and it kind of looks like a lovely sort of jelly. And then you rub it in, and it's very unctuous. I spent a long time, apart from all the ingredients that are in it, and fantastic ingredients, on getting the texture that you would really feel it's grippy, but you would properly clean your skin. It wouldn't be like an oil slick. And then when you've really done that massage and you've mushed together your old makeup and SPF, you can add some water and it will turn white like that. And that is pineapple enzyme extract, which is going to help to very gently exfoliate your skin in a very different way from an AHA or a BHA or a PHA, but just a little gentle exfoliation. So that's why I recommend it if you have sensitive skin. It will give you that tiny exfoliation. I think all skin benefits from a little bit of exfoliation. And then you use the muslin cloth, which comes with it, to really kind of exfoliate in, and then you dry it off and your hands feel very soft and the smell is delicious. It's the least important thing in a formulation, the smell, but it's the most important thing for people's sense of well-being sometimes. But we put this sort of smell in last, and we start off with the ingredients and think what's the most important ingredients that we could put in to have a really good balm cleanse. There we go. Yes, I live in Perth and today is my birthday and I'm in Melbourne for the week. All I wanted to do was go to Westfield Doncaster to go to Trinny, London. I bought BFF De-Stress and dyed you. I'm so happy. That's so sweet. That's so lovely. Happy birthday, Mandy. Joe, I feel like you could be on a natural pathway to perfume and or body scrubs. I love the way you all try and guess what I'm doing next by the hints of what you think I've said. I'm not going to tell you a thing because, I've got a lot of things that I'm looking at developing, and it depends on when everything's ready. It depends on what I feel should be next. It's a whole mixture of things. But, at the moment, I feel that we've got a really good skincare routine. I want you to all get used to that skincare routine, be on the journey with us, and then we'll take you to the next stage of the journey. Yeah, that's what I feel. But I just love that. I love that, the way you say that. Jason, would you recommend a retinol that is less strong, -1%, so I can use it daily? That way I can keep up with the routine which works and see the results over time. Jason, we're 0.25 on overnight sensation. That's a strong retinoid. 1% is prescription, all right? So most non-prescription are 0.3 maximum. That's a recommended amount. We're 0.25. So when you say less strong 0.1, that means you maybe have been using a professional prescription one. And I think there's just too much downtime. And if you are using it for skin aging, then I would switch out and try overnight sensation, because I think it will give you exactly what you want.
Okay, just quickly, what do you mean by downtime when you talk about retinoid?
Because with prescription retinoid, the way it works is it's going to resurface your skin, and you're going to get this redness to your skin as the new skin comes, it sort of flakes off the old skin and new skin comes as it's on that journey of accelerating your skin cell turnover. And when it's prescription, it's stronger. So it's happening at a stronger pace. And so you'll see the surface damage to your skin as that process happens. So a lot of people have a rough skin and they can't put on makeup when they've done it because they've got this rough skin that's in the process of sort of shedding and coming up. And I think by having a non-prescription one but still has a strength to it, you can enjoy the process of retinoid without having to stop, start, and you can just use it all the time. Pam, I'm just looking at New Face online. Look fantastic. Have the mini on sale, £105. I thought the community would like to know. I think that's very good news, Pam. Thank you for letting everybody know. Brilliant. Heidi, when using a device like a Foreo, should you use it before you do your skincare or do you use it after skincare? Foreo I use with my cleansing. Gemma, yes, I agree about the smell. It's so nice to have a lovely smell. It is, isn't it? Jackie, thank you, darling. Happy birthday, special lady. Yeah. Good evening from Melbourne. Hope you had a good time in Australia. I had the best time in Australia. Jade, would love a face oil or a body oil. Face oil and body oils. Now, I love them and they frustrate me. So I think that there is, sometimes oils are things that I use, like Vintner's Daughter, which I've loved, and it's an amazing facial oil. And I use a very small amount and I give myself a massage and it's a special once a week treatment. But I think that with face oil, you can get congestion inside the skin. And even if you don't have a propensity to have spots, if you have an oilier skin and you use a facial oil, I still don't agree with companies who say, treat acne with a facial oil, because I just think the texture of that product will congest and block the pore. And if you have a propensity to block pores anyway, then you really should be careful about using a facial oil if you have spots or really oily skin. I do just believe that. So I'm always looking for a texture which is sort of between an oil and a gel. I haven't found it yet. Tiptoe's back in stock. I think a lot of things are coming back in stock this month. I think you should really check the site every few days. If you put yourself down on the list and you send put an email, get an email alert, the day it comes back in, you will get it. And there are, I need to say, a lot of people on the waiting list of Bounce Back and Tiptoe In and other products. So please, if you haven't put your name down, put your name down. They are, we manufactured, when we first manufactured from the lab to scaling up and getting our products in, we did, think this amount would be the good amount to start with, and it sold a lot more than we initially projected for the customers we had. And, about 35% or 38% of you are using our skincare products from the Trinny London community. So it's just meant that it takes a long time to get them ready, order in all the raw ingredients, make them, bottle them, and get them out. So I apologize. It's a process, and I think a lot of things will be coming back this November. Yes. Thank you. You only use our skincare. Thank you. Marie, thanks Trinny London for all my products that arrived today. Just applies overnight sensation. It feels great. It's good, isn't it? And also it's so good for me because I will sometimes put it on, not put a moisturizer on top because it's not drying. Joe, ideal regime for rosacea, start at any tips? I literally would say this, because rosacea can be such a bugger and you just feel that there's nothing you can put on your skin. So my favorite treatment for rosacea is this. It's a balm cleanser. It's plump up and it's bounce back. And then when you're not in the middle of a flare up, I would really start to use Tiptoe In, because on the back of this, by the way, I don't know how many of you read the back, but we put how it works, and the glucose lactate in this is exfoliating. The radiance is lactobionic. So why shouldn't a rosacea skin have a bit of radiance? You need to replenish moisture. And if you have rosacea skin, you don't want to do something that is a really aggressive acid, and PHAs aren't. But most importantly, there's glycine bonded azelaic acid in our Tiptoe In. And azelaic acid is a treatment some people use for redness in the skin and for, just helping with reducing inflammation in the skin. So I would slowly introduce this in, not when you're right in the middle of a flare-up, not when you had a good curry dinner or a hot chili, and slowly do it every few days and build it up. And I think it will really help as well. We've had a lot of people who are kind of on that routine, and they do feel that maybe their rosacea is calmed down. So that would be my starter routine for somebody with sensitive skin and rosacea. Emma, good morning from New York. Can't wait to try the cleansing balm. It's very early in New York. Trinny, your eyebrows look amazing. Do you dye them? I put on this morning the Lash to Brow, actually. So I sometimes dye them when I'm doing a trip, but I will use Espresso, which actually is here, and I'll put that on. Do we have a mirror? Because otherwise I'll make such a boo-boo. And I haven't really put it on this morning so much, so I always go backwards like that first, just to lay the colour into my eyebrow. And I kind of tried to go quite high, because I think when you are, you know, having a saggy eyebrow, which I have a bit, and a saggy eye, I want to lift the colour and make it higher. So I always put the colour above my current hairline of my eyebrow, just to lift the outside of my eyebrow, and then I work my way back in, staying to the top. And then I will come back and just raise the hairs up like that and put it in. So it just gives you, do you see that instant eye lift really? So Lash to Brow, and I use Espresso. I used to use Chestnut, but I've actually, my hair this winter is a bit darker near the hairline, so I just thought I'd go to Espresso like that, and then I'll go up there like that. So I'm going to finish off now. I'm just going to finish my routine with you. So I've done plump up, everything, bounce back, and I'm going to go to do a little SPF. I'll do a tiny bit actually today of Energize Me, because my skin is feeling quite tired, and I feel like, looking at my skin, so I'm feeling really tired. So Energize Me has in it succinic acid. It's a niacinamide moisturizer. It's great under makeup, and it's going to energize my skin and just wake it up. It's not heavy, but it's hydrating, and I love that combination. So I just put that on, do a little massage, do a little, let's lift those cheekbones like that. There. Ah. And then I'm going to put on a little BFF, SPF 30, like that. And then on my forehead, just so that I have some SPF. It's raining today, but this is where I'm at in my SPF journey. It doesn't matter. I feel in daylight, wear SPF. Don't look outside and think, is it sunny? So I won't wear it if it's cloudy. Just get it into a sense that it's a routine, and I developed BFF SPF 30 as a product that would make your skin feel that it's woken up and lovely. So you're not even using it, if you don't like to wear SPF every day, just for the SPF. You're using it because it makes you have this healthy glow to your skin, and there's a little bit of pigment. And I think that makes people feel, I use it, and then they get to be using SPF, and then they help their skin long term. And that's why I developed it. So you can just see I've just got that little glow. And then I might do, from somewhere like that, I might go on, but I haven't got it here. I haven't got it here. I'd go on to, let me see somewhere if there is that. No, there isn't. I'm looking for Trintron. I was just going to do a little Just a Touch, but I don't know if I can find it here. So I'll do a little rebalance. Now, lots of you ask the difference between de-stress and rebalance, but for me, I'm going to do rebalance today because I want to actually just do something where I do some coverage like that. Oh, thank you. And it's a little bit matte, and I'm feeling a little bit greasy, oily here. I've got just putting that on. So De-Stress has a more radiant finish, and this has a sort of soft matte finish. I did a makeup look yesterday on my Instagram, and I thought to myself, did it look quite oily for some people? So if you were sort of scared of that look, and there are days when I really do want to have that glow because I think it wakes up my skin, then Rebalance is a great way to have a soft matte finish. So you might be somebody who's done a lot of powder all your life, and you get to the stage of doing just a little bit less of a matte look. So you can see my skin now feels even, and the brows are done. And then from here, I might then do Miracle Blur. Now, lots of you asked me about Miracle Blur. So Miracle Blur, I take a little bit in my fingers like that, and I warm it up. And then I might want to use it for filling in. So I'll press it into areas where, like lip lines I've got, and press it in like that. And I might just press it in around my nose because I don't want that to be looking at all oily. There. And then pressing around my mouth. And I think it's better to press it in because then you get it to go further deeper and you get that more even, soft look. And then I'm just going to end today with, I'll just do a tiny bit of one shade. I'm just looking at the colour of my shirt, and I'm just going to do a whole little look with Katie. So Katie is a sheer shimmer, and I'm just going to put that on my lip. This is what I call a real no makeup look. And then on my cheek, I want to get that glow. I've done a good skincare routine, so I just want to have a little bit of glow to my cheek there. But this is still matte, so I just put that on like that. And then I'll go to the other side, and I'll start always in that bit which feels the most prominent part of my cheekbone, and I'll just blend it around there, like that. And then I might do today some Vision, which is a lovely shade when you have this colour top on, which is nearly the shade of the top. So I'm just going to do a little bit of Vision on my eyes, which is that sort of lovely dusky pink, which I've got in my top, like that. There. And I'm sort of going to leave it like that. I do mascara afterwards, but that just gives you a sense of just, you know, a little no makeup look day. Get the hair down. Thank you so much for listening. All right, thank you very much. Bye.